The rain was falling hard when Anna decided to leave the bookstore where she worked. The heavy clouds had turned the town into a gray, melancholic painting. Her day had been long, but she felt okay. As she got into her car and drove through the partially flooded streets, she noticed something unusual: a man standing beside a bus stop, completely soaked, trying to shield his head with his hands. There was something different about him. He didn't look homeless, but he didn't seem like he was waiting for someone either. The impulse came before the reasoning. Anna pulled the car over. She rolled down the passenger window and asked, "Hey, are you okay? Need a ride somewhere?" The man hesitated for a moment, but accepted. He was visibly uncomfortable, slightly trembling. He got into the car with a reserved smile and thanked her politely. "Thank you so much, you really didn't have to do this." "It's all right," Anna said, turning on the heater. "This storm doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon." They drove along the wet road in silence for a few minutes. She glanced at him from time to time, trying to figure out why his face seemed so familiar. But in the rain, with his hood up and scruffy beard, he was just an ordinary man. And she was just a woman driving with a light heart for having helped someone. Little did she know, that innocent act of kindness would change her life forever. As the rain drummed softly on the roof of the car, Anna noticed the man begin to relax. He pulled his hood back slightly, revealing damp hair and gentle features. He looked about 50, maybe older, but carried himself with a quiet calmness that was hard to ignore. There was something refined about him, yet humble, like someone who had lived a lot but didn't feel the need to prove anything. "You work nearby?" Anna asked, glancing at him. "Not exactly. Just passing through, actually." Got caught in the rain without a plan. His voice was calm, almost soothing. As the car rolled through the slick streets, the conversation began to flow naturally. They talked about books, about coffee, about how rare it was to meet kind people these days. Every now and then, Anna would catch him smiling as if amused by something unspoken. "It's funny," he said, "sometimes you just want to be someone that no one recognizes." To talk like a normal person again, Anna gave a light laugh. "That's the dream, right? No expectations. Just people being people." Thought he looked at her with a softness that made her pause. Exactly that. The car grew warmer as the outside world remained cold and wet. For the first time in a long time, Anna wasn't just giving someone a ride, she felt like she was sharing something rare, a genuine, unfiltered moment between two strangers who didn't expect anything from each other, and the man, whoever he was, seemed to need that more than she could have imagined. The rain finally began to ease as Anna turned into the parking lot of a small 24-hour cafe. A familiar, yellow neon sign glowed in the misty night, casting a warm hue over the wet pavement. "I usually stop here when the weather's like this. Want to come in for a coffee?" she asked, pulling into a spot. The man nodded, giving her that same quiet smile. "That actually sounds perfect." Inside, the cafe was cozy and almost empty. The hum of the coffee machine and faint music playing from a corner speaker created a calm, almost timeless atmosphere. They found a booth near the window. The man removed his damp jacket and ran a hand through his hair. For the first time, Anna got a clear look at his face. It struck her again, there was something strangely familiar about him. The way he spoke. The way he carried himself. She tried to push the thought aside. Maybe it was just a passing resemblance. They talked. A young barista approached their table, her hands nervously clutching a notepad. "I'm so sorry, but are you who I think you are?" The man offered a knowing smile and nodded gently. "I might be." Anna's heart skipped. "Wait, what?" He chuckled softly, not in arrogance, but in understanding. "I'm Tom, by the way." Tom Cruise. It took her a few seconds to believe him. No security, no entourage, no spotlight. Just a man in a hoodie, sitting in a corner booth, sharing stories. Over coffee like anyone else, the moment didn't feel like a celebrity reveal. It felt human. Honest. Like she had met the person, not the persona, and that made all the difference. The rain had stopped completely by the time they left the cafe. A calm silence settled over the parking lot, broken only by the distant sound of tires rolling over wet pavement. Tom walked beside Anna toward her car, hands in his pockets, his jacket slung over one shoulder. "I didn't mean to surprise you," he said. "You didn't," Anna replied, still trying to wrap her head around everything. "I just didn't expect someone like you to be, well, alone in the rain like that," Tom smiled. "That's exactly why I was there. I needed to be just a guy for a while. Not Tom Cruise. No scripts, no cameras, no interviews. Just quiet. Real moments." They stopped by her car. The air was crisp now, the kind that comes after a storm. For a moment, neither of them spoke. "You know, you reminded me tonight that people still care," he said. "Not because of a name. But just because." Anna looked at him, really looked. Not as the movie star, but as a man tired of pretending. "Grateful for something simple though. I'm glad I stopped, then," she said softly. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. "I don't usually do this," he said, handing it to her, "but something about this night felt important." She took it, unsure of what to say. "Thank you, Tom." He nodded once, gave her one last smile, and turned to walk across the street toward a modest hotel. No limo. No fans. Just footsteps fading into the quiet night. Anna stood by her car for a long time, holding the note. The evening had begun with an act of kindness. But now, it felt like something far deeper, two lives brushing against each other at the exact moment they both needed to remember that humanity still mattered. The next morning, sunlight filtered gently through Anna's bedroom curtains. It felt like a completely different world from the stormy night before. She sat at the edge of her bed, holding the folded note Tom had given her. She hesitated for a moment before opening it, almost afraid that reading it would break the magic of the night. But as she unfolded the paper, her breath caught. "Thank you for reminding me what really matters. You didn't treat me like a name, you treated me like a human. I needed that more than you'll ever know." T.C. She stared at the message, her heart full. There were no grand promises, no signed headshots, no Hollywood flair. Just a man's gratitude for being seen without the filter of fame. Later that day, Anna went to work as usual at the bookstore. But something had changed. She smiled more. She listened more closely to the stories of the customers. She noticed the little things, the warmth in people's eyes, the weight in their voices. As she stacked a pile of new books on the shelf, she spotted one with his name on the spine. She paused, touched it gently, and smiled to herself. That evening, a news report quietly aired on TV behind the counter. Tom Cruise spotted spending time undercover in small towns. Her co-workers gasped. Anna said nothing. She simply watched, holding a warm cup of coffee in both hands. The memory wasn't about meeting a star. It was about the night she stopped, without knowing why, and helped someone in the rain. And how that moment reminded them both that even in a world obsessed with image, kindness still speaks the loudest. Sometimes, the most unforgettable stories don't make headlines. They just live quietly in the heart.